Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this month, August of 2021, we're going to be talking about work-life harmony. Join me. I'll see you soon. Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this month, August 2021, we're going to be talking about work-life harmony. Now, I'm sure you've heard of work-life balance, but I want to shift it a little bit and bring in the elements of, um, in a sense, balance can be pretty pragmatic. And pragmatism is very important, uh, but we want to bring in what it's like when we can actually harmonize in our life, when we're integrating our life work balance in such a way that it actually brings harmony to our being, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of connection and engagement in a way that feels really good to us. So many, so many people struggle with the work-life balance because they live in a well, most of us work a third of our life. Let me just say that again. Um, if you think about it, most of us work an 8 to 10 hour day, maybe a 14-hour day. And that means the majority of the people that we spend our time with is not the family that we wanted or our significant other, our special person. We're spending time with our colleagues and our associates and our employees and employers. And quite often those relationships can be stressful. Uh, but that's a matter of how we perceive ourselves in relation to them. So if we spend that much time with these people, then we also have this commitment and this desire to have a quality relationship with our family and our friends. And then we have a commitment to spending quality time with ourselves. And so how do we do that? That's just a question. How do we do that? And so often people will ask the question, but not actually give themselves an answer to that question. They, well, I'll do it, talk about it later. Or I go to the gym and that's enough. Or I watch TV with my spouse and we're happy about that. And you can hear in the tone of my voice that it's not about really enjoying that or the fulfillment, but it's good enough. And if it's good enough for you, that's great. But for most of us, we really have an intention to having a life of harmony and a life of freedom to have fun and relax and feel peaceful in our life. And when we're focused on our business and the stresses that come from always having a sense of needing to achieve and to accomplish something and being productive, when we shift over to our life away from work, we're going, wait, I'm not being productive. I'm not being of service. I'm not being achieving anything. What's the point here? And this is a big dilemma for so many of us in a sense that we're trained, if you will, to think in terms of what are we doing? What are we accomplishing in this moment? What are we getting done today? And whether you're a stay-at-home parent or somebody who's unemployed or somebody who's retired. There's a sense of accomplishment needing to do something, partly because it gives us a sense of meaning, but sometimes it's a matter of I feel guilty if I'm not being productive. And this is where we're kind of looking at the harmony of life versus the fears and the guilt and the stress of, oh, I'm not being productive. That means I'm unworthy or undeserving of, in a sense, being in the world or being in a relationship or being in a job. So what I want for us today, the intention of this conversation is to really begin to ask yourself the question, how much of your time are you spending thinking about achievement and productivity versus being able to just be who you are? So, um, so I have a small story to share. Many years ago, about 10 years ago actually, I went through a process that was kind of what we call a spiritual immersion process, dark night of the soul, and and a lot of my work went away for a while, and I needed to do a lot of resting, But I also had to keep my practice going, and that included a lot of writing, those kinds of things. And I needed to take a rest. I needed to nap every day. And this one particular day, I went outside and I laid down on my little rocking couch, and I said, okay, you're not going to get up until you're inspired to get up versus getting up from being, I need to be productive and I need to get something done. So I'm there on the ground, not on the ground, on my couch, and I'm laying there and I'm relaxing, and there's this voice inside my head that's going, who are you to take a break? Who are you to lay here on the couch just waiting to be inspired? Who are you to not be productive? You need to make money. You need to be of service. You need to get more clients. You need. And it was like I just stopped that voice and I said, I'm not listening to you. I'm going to move off this couch when I'm inspired, not from fear. And that was a really huge moment for me because one of the principles of my life, one of my principles of living and my sense of spiritual principle is we're here to live from the essential nature of who I am. I'm here to live in the expression that's me, which doesn't come from fear, which doesn't come from achievements and productivity. It comes from being inspired. And so I really practice that, is listening and watching that anxious, stressful part of me. You've got to make money. You've got to make money. And that part goes, okay, I have to calm that down and begin to notice when I'm inspired and act from that. So it's a balance for me and a harmony of being productive, but my productivity, it comes from intuition. It comes from inspiration. It comes from this part of me that's, from me, it's my divine unfolding and expression in the world. So I can be productive. At that time, I wrote 4 books in 4 years and wrote many, many blogs and did videos and saw many clients. Went to Russia and did a workshop and retreat. Huge amounts of productivity and achievements, but it all came from this place of intuition. So that's what I want us to look at and consider and think about. That's what I want you to think about as well as me, is that place of where am I in harmony with myself? Where am I in harmony with that fullest expression of myself versus the part that says I need to be productive, I worry about being productive, I feel guilty if I'm not productive? And how can we shift that? And we can shift that by deciding and choosing to say, I don't want to live my life in this kind of stressful anxiousness. Don't want to do it anymore. And in the articulation of that, in the declaring, I don't want to do this anymore, that's a beginning to you listening to that intuition and your calling and being inspired. And that will give you that unfolding towards what's yours to do in the world effortlessly. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but the truth is it comes effortlessly when we can get out of our own way and be in harmony. All right, I think that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.